Welcome to another module of reproduction in flowering plants. Today we are going to discuss the cross section of anther. On screen, as you can see, the cross section of anther is given. You will see there it is containing two lobes, and lobes are known as theca. So it is a diathecous anther. Inside it you will see four chambers are there. That four chambers are known as microsporangia, and in between two thecas there is a sterile connective tissue which does not participate in the reproduction process. When the anther matures, the microsporangia will develop into pollen sacs, and you will see that the anther, which is containing two thecas, will have four mature pollen sacs in which pollen grains will be there. So let's draw the different layers of the anther. As you can see that I am drawing diathecous anther. This is the diathecous anther. Here it is containing four microsporangias, and singularly it is known as Microsporangium, and when we are considering it in plural form it will be called as sporangia. So it is having four sporangias. Then this is one lobe, this is the another lobe, and here in between these two lobes the sterile tissue, that is connective, is present. Now we will be discussing the different layers of the anther. This is the anther wall. Here it is called the anther wall. The outermost layer here is consisting of a single flattened cell, and the layer is known as epidermis. Here this anther wall is containing four layers. First is the epidermis layer, or you can say epidermal layer. Second is the endothecium. Third is the middle layer. And fourth one, the most important, is the tapetum. So one by one we will be discussing each layer of the anther walls. This is the outermost layer, that is the protective layer which protects the anther. It is consist of a single flattened cell, and then beside it is containing radially arranged cells like this. Here a layer which is containing radially arranged cells are present. This is the second layer of the anther wall. This layer is known as endothecium. And what is important or significant about this layer is that the cells are thickened with a component known as callus. This callus is it plays a very vital role in the protection of the pollen grain also, that I will be discussing later. So endothecium, which is containing a single layer of radially arranged cells, and this is also for protection. Then after that, with another pen I will be drawing here this. There is 2 to 3 layers, that you can say a multi-layered portion is there, which is generally parenchyma cells. These are there are 2 to 3 layers, and this portion, just a multi-layered portion, this is known as the middle layer. This middle layer helps in dehiscence. Now the question arises how, and another question is what is dehiscence? Dehiscence means rupturing. When this anther matures, that time it ruptures to liberate the pollen grains which are present inside these sporangias. So it liberates, and this middle layer helps in the dehiscence, liberation of the pollen grains. This portion is the point of dehiscence, where this pollen grains releases out, and this whole anther ruptures from here. So this is the point of dehiscence. It is also known as stomium. Okay, so till now we have discussed middle layer. Now next is the tapetum. Now tapetum is the fourth layer and the last layer of the anther wall, and it is containing this pyramidal cells. These pyramidal cells are multinucleated and they are dense with cytoplasm. Now the question is why this tapetum is multinucleated? Because the cells during division it carried out karyokinesis, but cytokinesis, full cytokinesis didn't occur, so they are multinucleated, and it is the most important layer of the anther. We all know that why we are discussing this anther here and the walls of the layers of the anther. That is because inside it 4 sporangias are present, 4 sporangias which will develop into pollen sacs, and inside it only pollen grains are present. So inside this layer of ring of tapetum, you will see number of cells which are closely packed, and these cells are known as sporogenous cells. Here I will write sporogenous cells, and these cells when get mature it will become microspore, and from microspore it will develop into pollen grains that will contain the male gamete. So this is all about the anther wall. Now I will be discussing the function of tapetum. As I have told you that tapetum is a layer of pyramidal cells that are multinucleated, having rich in thick cytoplasm. It is having 4 functions. So here write down the functions of tapetum. First of all, it is having a nutritive function, as it provide nutrition to the developing microspore inside this microsporangia. When these sporangious cells develop into microspore, that time it will get nutrition, it will acquire nutrition from these tapetum cells. And second is it secretes an enzyme that is called callase. So the second function is the secretion of enzyme that is known as callase. This callase enzyme is responsible for the dissolving callose which are present in the mature microspore tetrad. This microspore here, when it develops, when it matures, they are in the tetrad form, and to release each of them, this enzyme is helpful, this callase enzyme. Then the third one here, third function is the production of Ubish bodies. Now these Ubish bodies are coated with a sporopollenin component, and this sporopollenin component is the most resistant substance. It helps in the formation of the XII layer of the pollen grains, which is resistant to the unfavorable condition, and it protects the pollen grains. It makes it viable for several months and year. So this is the most important function. It helps in the formation of the pollen grains. Then the last function of the tapetum is the formation of pollen kit. Now what is pollen kit? This is the yellow powder which you generally found on the flowers. Whenever you touch the flowers, you will find that it is containing a yellow powdery substance, and that is nothing but the pollen kit. So these four are the functions of tapetum, and here I have discussed the different layers of the anther wall. So the last topic of this module will be the types of tapetum. Tapetum is of two types. The first one is the glandular tapetum, and the second one is the amoeboid tapetum. This is not in the syllabus, but this will be helpful for you in the NEET exams. So types of the tapetum: